the book was Generations in the Fourth Turning, and the fourth turning is what we're in right now. This fourth turning, this crisis period of how we're tearing down the old institutions and we're rebuilding anew. And I think you're a key figure. I consider you to be a real key figure in building this new world and the way we're going to be raising children in the future. And I think you're doing great work in that.
Well, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And of course, as you know, in this show, flattery gets you everywhere. No, I appreciate that. And this is the one thing that's been fantastic about feminism. And,
yes.
I say that without a trace of irony, is that feminism has blazed the trail for the voluntary family.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Feminism has blazed the trail for the voluntary family. And that
work.
which we grant to the women, we must grant to adult
to men.
children. And to men, yeah.
Obviously,
right?
And
so,
children.
Yeah, so the fact, I don't know if you could have got to kids before women, right? But the fact that women, up until the 60s in Canada, you need an act of parliament to get a divorce. No-fault divorce was put forward and has been strenuously embraced by women. Abortion, of course, is the ultimate expression of a voluntary relationship in that you're willing to kill something you don't want to give birth to. And if you don't want to be a mother, well, you kill the fetus. And that's a pretty solid affirmation, if you believe in that and the morality of that. That's a pretty solid affirmation of a voluntary relationship. And so, bless the feminists for did they go a bit far? Did they use the state? Yeah, well, the state was around, and people use they use the tools that are around, right? But they have absolutely enshrined in the human pantheon of ethics the absolute right and demand to break relationships when they displease you, to break marriages, to kick out husbands, to leave your children if that's your bent. They have absolutely enshrined in the human constellation of ethics the absolute right to ditch relationships if they're merely displeasing to you. Of course, the number one reason for divorce is dissatisfaction. And just not satisfied. Now, extending that to the adult children of parents is easy conceptually. It's hard for a lot of people emotionally. Right? Because people's capacity for hypocrisy. See, I'm not good at double standards. It doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, really. I'm just not good at them. Like, when I first started thinking about the voluntary family, first thing I thought about was feminism. I say, well, can my mom really complain if I don't see her? I mean, she kicked out my dad. She chose him. I didn't choose her. He didn't beat her. She beat me. And it was one of these things where it's just like, okay, well, that's so completely and fundamentally irresistible. Like you can't – I'm not good at twisting myself into those weird double-think modes where women should have the right to leave relationships that they've voluntarily chosen into that are disastrous for children if they leave and disastrous for children if they kick the man out because they just have the right of being a voluntary family and kicking people out if they simply find them dissatisfying to be around, right? And we accept that. And say, okay, well, adult children have the right to do that, and they didn't even choose the parents, right? And I mean, it's to me, it's just dominoes falling.
Right.
Now, for a lot of people, and this is something I'm not, this is one of my many weaknesses is mistaking the world for myself over and over and over again, right? Mistaking the world for myself. God, you think I know by now, but I'm still working on it. It's like, well, how could you? Like, to me, it's literally like. Not you, right? How can people possibly have any problem with this? I mean, emotionally, sure, I get it, difficult, but intellectually. But then, especially when you meet someone who's rational in one area, like the atheist community, but rational in one area, right?
Yeah.
And then you make the mistake of thinking, wow, this little corner is pretty rational, right? Or, you come across socialists and you see their skepticism towards religion, right? You can make that mistake, or I can make that mistake, right? Or you go to the right of the Republicans and say, well, they're really pro-free market, very skeptical of government. It's like, well, they're rational then. It's like, nope. No, they're not. They just have little pockets of rationality that really are more tumors produced by the irrationality somewhere else.